She does this in all the interviews. She waits me out.
It always
It's the
works.
Montana in her.
You're gonna do it to me today? I had a hard time with it. I think I probably drove Derek crazy for 6 weeks or something, or 2 weeks before we started shooting. Derek would come up and visit me while my daughter was in school, and we'd talk, and I would tell him everything that was wrong with the script and why it wouldn't work and why I couldn't play it. And I think that my big dilemma was why? What's the event? What's the cataclysm that forces them apart? I need to see what it is. And you took it and never showed any sign of strain, but I was putting a lot of I'm just talking to you. I'm so sorry. I put so much on your shoulders. And it was hard for me to live in the ambiguity of it. And then Derek ultimately convinced me that it was the right way to go. That there doesn't have to be that it's more insidious than that. That it's more toxic than that, and that it's been built up over so much time. That there's so many things like that along the way, and not to try and pin it on one particular event or one particular. And also, I think for me, the thing that I discovered was that it's not so. I was like, how do I leave this guy? How do I leave this guy? I just I don't. You got to help me out. And what worked for me was to figure that it's more about me and less about him, and that there is a dynamic that's obviously broken, but that it's me that I can't live with, and it's me that I'm trying to run away from.
I mean, there's so much that's implied in the script without being stated explicitly, particularly in that scene in the when you go to the doctor's office at the end, Ryan, and you kind of say, oh, this is where the smiles happen, and you realize how much she's kind of leaving at work and not taking home with her, and how much of that part of her she's not taking home with her. How much did you guys sort of talk about the characters? I know the development process was a pretty intensive one in terms of how you prepared for the shoot, but how much did you talk about all the things that we don't see on camera that either you shot or obviously or didn't make it in the film, or even that you never shot, but just the history that your characters had?
Well, Derek had set it up in a way so that when we, both of us, Michelle had been involved for 6 years, I think. What? 6 years? And then I was for 4, and obviously Derek was 12. But we for that whole period of time, we're talking to Derek, just constantly leaving messages as rants as the character. He asked us to kind of create all of their backstory and all of that. So we had a lot of time to marinate in it and think about it. But when we got there, Michelle and I didn't really talk very much. He wanted us to save it so that we got to know each other in character on film. And then when we did the break in between, we took about a month, and we lived, we spent the days in that house. And we went grocery shopping on a budget, and we made birthday cakes. And
We had $200 for cigarettes on the budget.
by the way, I haven't smoked since that movie. So, what else did we do? We had Christmas. We had a birthday party. We went fishing. We
Painted the doghouse. We made home movies.
We made a home movie of home movies.
Yeah, a whole movie of home movies.
And we did.
The
What else did
DVD.
we do?
Yeah, and we learned how to fight, I think.
We had
importantly.
fighting day, which was Derek just said. Today you're fighting all day. You don't agree on anything.
It was the hardest thing to get them to fight, There was the honeymoon wouldn't end.
Yeah. He
Cute
actually
teddy
made
bears.
us. We took our wedding photographs and we bought fireworks from the grocery store, and we set our love on fire.